All right, we'll call the meeting to order. Invocation, Mr. Byron, would you please?
Everybody bow their head and close their eyes. Heavenly Father, we come to you right now, my Father, just to say thank you. We thank you, my Father, that you allowed us to see another day. And we thank you, my Father, for allowing us to have your loving arm of protection around us as we maneuver through the day, my Father. We thank you, my Father, for everybody that's gathered in this sanctuary. And my Father, we pray that we do everything decent and in order and for this great city proud of you. We ask all this in your daughter's son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Pledge, Alderwoman Chasson, please.
Please face the flag. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all. Roll clerk, Miss Tessa, please. Chantel is at some training this week.
Katie Chasson. Brad Core. Jeff Doré. Dickie Lachele. Vernon Martin. Sandy Marks. Sammy Reggie. Byron Wilridge.
Thank you, ma'am. Any agenda amendments? Approval of minutes of the regular council meeting held September 16th at 25. Offered by Alderwoman Marks, second by Alderman Wilridge. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Mayor's report, you'll see your sales tax chart. Let's get to that. Let's see. First report of this fiscal year, $780,371 compared to $778,830 for last year. And then your sewer user fee report is also attached, $164,321 compared to $158,970 last year this time. You also have in your packets the status report on audit findings for fiscal year 24 and your budget to actual comparison as of September of 25. Any questions? Standing committee reports, we'll go with Public Works. Alderman Doré, please. Hold on a second. I just checked all those microphones.
It's working now? Yep. Okay, I'll repeat myself. Public Works Committee convened Tuesday, October 14th, 2025, 5 p.m. in the council chambers, and a quorum was present. Under action items, there were none. Non-action items, Public Works Director Albert John presented his monthly report. Street Commissioner Wesley Jacob presented his monthly report. City Engineer Tim Mader presented the monthly engineer's report, which had no items to consider. There was no further business to come before Public Works Committee, and the committee recessed.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Let's see, Utility Committee, Alderman Martin, please.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna do the best I can. You know, I can't read. Okay, we had a quorum, and we started on October 14th. On the action items, no action items to present from the monthly engineer's report. A motion was made by Marks and second by Alderman Jeff Doré to accept certification of sewer use rates, fee rates adjustments by city clerk and to refer it to the full council meeting on today for action according with the city clerk certification. Motion carried. And I so move.
Offered by, so this motion is going to be a little different than what was read there. If you would, it's just go ahead and finish reading that report, and then we're going to get to the action item on the agenda for that motion, if you don't mind.
and myself made a motion to repeal the ordinance and do away with the sewer user fee. There was no second, and motion died. Under non-action item, wastewater superintendent Tim Mader gave he was not present. His report was read by myself. City engineer Tim Mader presented the monthly engineer's report, which had no action items for the council to consider. There'll be nothing further to come before this committee. Committee recess.
Okay. If we could entertain a motion for the number one on the agenda, on the actual council agenda. It is to accept and certify to the mayor and board of aldermen the necessary sewer user fee rate adjustment as certified by the city clerk as being recommended to the special sewer user fee review committee upon its consideration of the certification of the city clerk, city engineer, city CPA, and city auditor of the rate necessary to provide adequate revenue, therefore, and to adopt a resolution to hold a public hearing and introducing an ordinance to set the sewer user fee at the required rate. Your motion is to accept and certify the report from the special committee and to call for a public hearing to introduce an ordinance, to adopt an ordinance. So tonight's vote is not to raise the sewer user fees. Raising the sewer user fees requires an ordinance, and an ordinance requires a resolution for a public hearing a month in advance. And so that's what this vote is for this evening. We need a motion. You offered, Mr. Martin. Offered by Mr. Martin, second by Alderman Core. Any discussion? All in favor? One nay, one opposed. All right. Motion carries. And that's utility because you finished your report. Okay. Recreation, Alderman Ashby, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Recreation Committee convened Tuesday, October 14, 2025 at 5 p.m. in the council chambers, and a quorum was present. Under action items, there were none. Under non-action items, Recreation Director Brian Borrell presented the monthly Recreation Department report. City Engineer Tim Mader presented the monthly report, engineer's report. He had none. There was no further business to come before the Recreation Committee, and the committee recessed.
Thank you, sir. Zoning annexation, Alderman Reggie, please.
Thank you. Zoning and Annexation Committee convened Tuesday, October 14th, 2025, 5 p.m. in the council chambers. A quorum was present. Under action items, no action items to present from the monthly engineer's report, and non-action items. City Engineer Tim Mader presented the monthly engineer's report, which had no action items for the council to consider, and there was no further business to come before Zoning and Annexation Committee, and the committee recessed.
Thank you, sir. Public Safety, Alderman Core, please.
Thank you, Mayor. The Public Safety Committee convened Tuesday, October 14th, 2025 at 5 p.m. in the council chambers, and a quorum was present. A motion was made by myself and seconded by Alderman Byron Wildridge to amend the agenda as follows: to add 4 2026 beer and liquor renewal applications for approval, which included Tobacco Plus number 14, Crawfish Nest and Market, SWAP1 Enterprises LLC, which is Raceway number 70754, and Mr. Gaddy's Pizza. And the second amendment was to move discussion item number 2 on the Public Safety Committee to an action item, and number 3 to include an action item for amendments to Chapter 3 Alcoholic Beverages of the Code of Ordinances. There was no discussion, and a roll call vote was taken, with all members voting in favor of the agenda amendments. Under reports, Chief of Police Troy Hebert presented his monthly report. Fire Chief Luis Romero presented his monthly report. City Inspector Marty DeRussell presented his monthly report. Under action items, a motion was made by myself and seconded by Alderman Jeff Dorey to recommend approval of the following 2026 beer and liquor permits for consideration by the council. Alderman Sammy Reggie recused himself from the vote. The motion carried, and I so move to approve these in globo, as listed on the agenda.
Offered by Alderman Corr, second by Alderman Martin. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Alderman Reggie recuses. Motion carries.
Mayor, we have, I think, 4 additional ones, beer and liquor permits indicated on the agenda that did not go to committee. And those include China Dragon 1 Incorporated for a 2020 Class A retail beer permit. Family Dollar Stores of Louisiana, number 21180, for a 2026 Class B package beer permit. Family Dollar Stores of Louisiana LLC, number 531735, for a 2026 Class B package beer permit. And Mikey's Seafood and Specialty Meats LLC for a 2026 Class A package beer and a 2026 Class B package liquor permit. And I so move to approve these.
Second.
So, actually, your original motion was to approve all that was on the agenda. So that original
Oh.
motion is okay, but
right.
that just clarifies that these were added to that list of
Okay.
the committee. So,
That's fine.
yes, sir.
All right. The next item, Alderman Brad Corr called upon City Inspector Marty DeRussell to present his request and basis for a part-time employee in the Code Enforcement Department. The startup investment for the part-time position in code enforcement would require the following: a new vehicle, approximately $31,000, new trailer for towing equipment, $2,875, a new lawnmower, $8,400, new trimmers, 2 and 1 blower, $1,175, an iPad for field work, $500, with a breakdown for the part-time hourly employee of $25,000. Equipment total cost, $43,500, for the total first-year investment of $68,500, and a total allocation request to budget. Following his discussion, his detailed presentation, a motion was made by myself and seconded by Alderman Sammy Reggie to create a part-time code enforcement position and refer it to the Revenue and Finance Committee for further consideration, and the motion carried. And I so move.
That's going to be for
For Revenue and Finance?
Revenue and Finance,
Okay,
correct.
That's fine. So no motion is necessary until we get to Mr. Dickey.
In the agenda, under the list of liquor renewal applications, you have number 2 there on the council agenda.
Oh, the council
At the bottom of
agenda.
the page.
Okay, all right. To adopt a resolution introducing a proposed ordinance and calling for a public hearing regarding amending and reenacting provisions of Chapter 3 alcoholic beverages. A resolution of the Mayor and Board of Aldermen of the City of Crowley, Arcadia Parish, Louisiana, introducing a proposed ordinance and calling for a public hearing concerning the same. And I so move.
Second.
Offered by Alderman Corr, second by Alderwoman Marks. Discussion? Mr. Reggie?
What we had talked about last week, Brad, with the 18 for the being able to still be able to hire them, and then I guess people still being able to shoot pool, is that gonna still be changed?
So Sammy, so what we handed out earlier is the ordinance that would be proposed to put all that in effect. And in that ordinance that's drafted, all references changing 18 to 21 were scrapped, and it's back to 18, other than the drinking. Yeah, just to make it line up with the state law. Yep.
Mr. Martin, you got a question? Okay. Any other discussion? All in favor? This is calling for a public hearing next month. This is adopting a resolution and calling for a public hearing for next month. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. We've got a couple of them in here, or one of them in here for sure. But yeah, we can certainly let them know.
Okay, I think we covered, item number 3 on the minutes. With that said,
Alderman Ashby,
On what Steph said, what's gonna change?
hold on, hold your ears. Try that.
Okay, you got it. So following up on what Steph said, sending something out to the bar owners, what's gonna change from what we have now currently?
So for bar owners, I don't think anything's gonna change. What is going to change is after-hours clubs or clubs that charge a gate or admission fee or otherwise charge something for people to be on their premises, BYOB. So in other words, if I have a club and I charge an admission fee and I have a DJ that plays music and I don't serve alcohol, but you come in and you bring your own alcohol at that club, what this ordinance does is it does bring them into the same classification, so to speak, as if you were selling that alcohol. So you'd have to get a permit, you'd have to close it at 2:30, people would have, or close at 2, people would have to stop drinking at 2:30. It just kind of brings them within the same rules and regulations that affect bars.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, there will be a
Yeah,
public
yes,
hearing
sir.
next month.
Yes, sir.
yes.
Okay.
Under discussion, Mayor Monso and Police Chief Abear spoke about a request to install barricades along North Avenue E between the intersections of West Second Street and West Third Streets during the afternoon and evening of Saturday, October 18th, 2025. There was no further business to come before the committee, and the meeting closed.
All right, I do have a speaker card, wanting to speak on your committee report of the fire chief's, report, Rick Villajoy.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, council. Chief, can you stand up, please? On behalf of all of us citizens, former citizens, who was embarrassed by the interrogation that you went through last week and the assault on your integrity that you went through last week, I would like to apologize to you and the people of your department on behalf of everyone who witnessed that. But I do have some questions for you, Chief. Whenever a call comes through to you, to your department, that says house fire, unknown number of occupants in residence, how serious do you take that call? Dispatch all of your personnel who would be available at the firehouse at that time? I mean, that's serious? What deems a fire extinguished?
All of the fire, not hot spots, all of the fire is out.
Okay.
Still got smoke, but then that's called salvaging over.
You've been in the fire department, different levels, for 26 years?
I've been in Crawley for 26 years. I've been in the fire service for 33 years.
It was asked of you last week why everyone stayed on premises for so long. So I'm going to ask you the question this way. In all of your years, have you ever seen a fire that was thought to be extinguished, but because of a shift of wind, because of an ember, or anything like that, maybe a wire that sparked? Have you ever seen a fire reignite? Would that be one of the reasons why you kind of stay on scene a little while longer to make sure everything's safe for the other people out there?
That was part of it.
Mm-hmm.
The main part was because we suspected that call to be arson. We contacted the fire marshal.
Mm-hmm.
And the
his supervisor at home. And he said, let me get in touch with him. And then about an hour and 10 minutes later, he arrived on scene.
Last question, and I'm sorry if I'm interrogating you all, so I apologize. It was stated last week that you and your department was in the street having a good time waiting for the fire marshal to arrive. Y'all were playing music? Had a keg of beer? Serving food?
Wrap it up.
Just wanted to make sure exactly what a good time was. Thank you, Chief. I appreciate you, and we all appreciate you.
Mr. Martin?
Since you want to be, well, you know what, you got a right to your opinion. How long did it take you two to get together to come up with the fire marshal issue? He didn't say anything about that last time. Case closed.
We're moving on. Public Buildings, Alderman Wilridge, please. No, no need. No, sir, no need.
Public Buildings convened Tuesday, October 14, 2025 at 5 p.m. in the council chamber, and we had a quorum present. On the action items, number 1, to approve the city of Crowley to co-sponsor NICE's St. Peter Claven and the Lady Auxiliary honoring Ms. Teresa Mayfield at the Wright Festival Building by waiving the fee for the use of the building on February 14, 2025. And I so move.
Offered by Alderman Wilridge. Second by Alderman Core. Discussion? All in favor? Opposed?
You got one abstention.
Alderman Martin abstains.
On the action item number 2, to consider approving the application for payment number 10 to Prestigious Construction Group LLC for Urban Parks and Pavilion Project in the estimated amount of $315,354.59. And I so move.
Offered by Alderman Wilridge, second by Alderwoman Marks. Discussion? All in favor? Opposed? One opposition.
On the action item number 3 that did not go to the committee meeting, to consider approving the application for payment number 11 to Prestigious Construction Group LLC for Urban Parks and Pavilion Project in the estimated amount of $92,576.88, and I so move.
Offered by Alderman Wilridge, second by Alderwoman Marks. Discussion? Mr. Martin?
Okay, I think the day, unless I'm mistaken, the day should have been the date that substantial completion was to be issued to the city of Crowley. Am I right in saying that?
That is correct.
Okay, where are they? For those who don't know, substantial completion is, well, here's the keys. The only thing we got to do is a little painting and door adjustment, but your building or whatever, it's pretty much, well, not about 99% complete. But yet they still asking for money. Okay, when will they be held accountable?
The money that they've asked for has been approved by the architects, just as it is with the engineer, when the engineer is doing the jobs.
Understood.
That they either have the product delivered and they get partial payment for delivered product. They have work completed. They get obviously full payment for work completed. A lot of this is coming from that concrete slab that they poured. I
Can
don't
I ask a
remember how
question
many yards of concrete it
on that?
was, but yes, sir.
Who tests the bore on the concrete?
What's that?
The bore,
Louisiana Testing.
okay. You have,
Louisiana Testing has been testing all of the stuff that's needed
so-
to be
so
tested out there.
Everything was good with that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good, okay,
Yes, sir.
all right. That's all I have.
Any other discussion? All in favor? Opposed, one opposed. Motion carries.
There being no more business come before public buildings, and we recess.
Thank you, sir. Insurance and Personnel, Alderwoman Marks, please.
Thank you, Mayor. The Insurance and Personnel Committee convened Tuesday, October the 14th, 2025, at 5 p.m. in the council chambers. A quorum was present. There were no action items nor non-action items, and the committee convened. recessed.
Thank you, ma'am. Community Economic Development, Alderwoman Chasson.
Thank you so much. The Community and Economic Development Committee convened Tuesday, October 14th, 2025 p.m. in the council chambers. A quorum was present. Under action items, Alderwoman Katie Chasson presented the monthly report about events taking place in the city of Crowley. Non-action items, I think that's just in the wrong place. There was no further action to come before the Community and Economic Development Committee, and the committee recessed.
Okay, sorry about that. Thank you, ma'am. Revenue and Finance Committee, Alderman Lachele.
Mine's a little kind of mixed up from the actual committee meeting to the full. agenda,
Yes.
so I'll try to do the best I can.
That's fine.
Okay, all right. Okay, the Revenue Finance Committee convened Tuesday, October the 14th, 2025 at 5 p.m. in the council chambers. The quorum was present. A motion was made by Alderman Dickey Lachele and seconded by Alderman Brad Core to add a part-time code enforcement officer. Vernon Martin was absent. All others said yes. Okay, let me refer back to the agenda for tonight and give you a breakdown.
There you go.
Okay.
Well, that would be number one on your agenda,
Maybe
too.
one of them was- Right, okay, all right.
Also, I mean,
Okay, to consider creating an additional part-time code enforcement position not to exceed 25,000 pay, and to also to consider approval to purchase the equipment for the part-time code enforcement position, which Brad Core of the Public Safety gave you the detail on those items. And I so move on those, number one, number two.
offered by Alderman Lachele, second by Alderman Martin. Discussion. Alderman Ashby, please.
I know we stating that it's a certain amount of money for a part-time job. How many hours does that part-time job carry?
Up to $25,000 a year.
Yeah. How many hours does that pay
Marty,
for?
Marty, you want to?
Because if it only pays for 4, my vote is no.
No, the scope is operating 24 hours a week, roughly, for the employee.
Okay, thank you, Marty.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Martin, microphone, please.
I know you broke it down, but that's the one that's gonna be out there cutting grass?
One of the assignments. So they're going to work at the leisure of the code enforcement department,
I got you.
which means they could do grass, blight property, junk cars. In the slow seasons, they'll have other menial tasks that maybe the code enforcement, they can alleviate from the office itself.
Perfect, perfect. Well, the next question, when are you gonna start? Or she?
We're working on it.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Marty.
Any other discussion? All in favor of number one and number two in Revenue and Finance?
Aye and aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay. Action item number 3, to consider creating an additional full-time position for the street department in the amount of $50,051.12, which includes fringe benefits. And I so move.
Offered by Alderman Lachele, second by Alderwoman Marks. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay. There were no discussion items to come before the committee. There was no other business to come, so the committee recessed.
Thank you, sir. Ordinances, resolutions, we took care of in the committee report, as the committee reports were given. The public hearings will be next week. We will do as, next month, I'm sorry. Ooh, Lord. We will do as normal. The public will open council meeting. We'll recess the council meeting, open public hearings. We'll do the public hearings, we'll go back into council meetings, and then the council will then vote on those ordinances. Engineer report? I mean, I'm good with it. Any opinion?
Mayor, I have on the timeline for the
November
sewer
11th?
user, public hearing, November the 18th.
The committee meetings are on the 11th. Are y'all okay with that? That evening? We sure will. Okay, so thank you, Mr. Steve. We'll keep it there. Thank you. Motion to adjourn? Offered by Alderman Corr, second by Alderman Dorey. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you all.
Okay, I'm heading over there now.
Does anybody else have any paperwork for me?